Hey, I'd like to talk a little bit about recovery, what it is and what it looks like to be in recovery. I've shared very briefly in other videos about my meth addiction and me being in recovery, but I haven't gone in depth about it. For me, recovery consisted of another addict reading the Alcoholics Anonymous big book to me, guiding me through 12 steps the way it's outlined in the book, and me continuing to live the steps as I guide others through the steps. Yes, there's different methods of recovery, but it's the 12-step program I'd like to talk about. To clarify, I'm not a spokesperson for AA or any other 12-step program. It's just my experience that the 12-step program works, and I want to share about it. Yes, there are those that say it doesn't work or that the 12 steps are just not for them. I can't help but to wonder if they really know what the program is, because it really is like saying, oh, practicing selflessness, honesty, gratitude, integrity, humility, yeah, that doesn't work. Doing such things to repair the damage I've done and to make amends just doesn't work. Getting rid of my selfish motives and desires to be of service to others just isn't for me. This spiritual way of living, of having hope, faith, and courage, yeah, that just isn't for me. Getting out of self and doing God's will, yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, there is the God part that some get stuck on, and there's a lot I can say about that, but I have to save it for another video. Admitting powerlessness is another hang-up. That's for another video. In this video, I need to say this. Getting sober will solve all your problems and will bring you all the happiness for you and your family is false. You see, for me, using meth wasn't the problem. Don't get me wrong, through my using, I caused problems, but it was when I stopped using, when things got bad in here. I couldn't stand dealing with life sober, especially in facing all my wreckage. Meth and alcohol's primary function was to take care of my problems. Meth was the answer. It helped me get through life. It gave me all kinds of resources. It changed my world that I couldn't handle. It changed me into a functioning person, even though everyone else was looking at me as this non-functioning, sunk-in tweaker that was going to die. Well, in my head, dying was better than dealing with life sober. At the same time, I wanted to get sober. Now some of you are like, wait, what? Dying was better than dealing with life sober, and yet you wanted to get sober? How does that make sense? And there's some of you that know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, I wanted sobriety, but I wanted the kind that didn't have to feel so bad. What I found in the 12 steps is a spiritual way of living that made sobriety feel good. It gave me a sufficient substitute. Everything I needed meth for to deal with life and with me, I was able to find through the spiritual way of living. And as far as my wreckage that was just so hard for me to face, well, the program gave me the tools to repair some damage and to also completely rebuild new structures in my life, structures that are stronger than they ever were before. Like a tree, I needed the steps to be pruned of a lot of dead branches, otherwise I'd be looking ugly and not able to bear any good fruit. Okay, so what about the family of the alcoholic or addict getting sober? I recall a story an AA member, who I'll keep anonymous, shared about the alcoholic who said, I don't need the 12 steps. I've stopped drinking. All my problems were caused by my drinking. I'm wonderful again. But then when asking the family to tell us about Mr. Wonderful, the family replies, Mr. Wonderful, that son of a bitch is worse now than when he was drinking. He's one obnoxious, angry man that hates life. We're secretly praying that he goes back to drinking. In the Alcoholics Anonymous Big Book, page 82, it suggests that the alcoholic is like a tornado roaring his way through the lives of others and is unthinking when he says sobriety is enough. He is like the farmer who comes out of the cellar to find his home ruined and then says to his wife, don't see anything the matter here, Ma. Ain't it grand the wind stopped blowing? Look, if you are someone who wants to get sober but can't, or you're struggling to stay sober, maybe because you can't stand dealing with life sober, or when sober you can't stand who's looking back at you in the mirror, or if you have this ongoing obsession to use or drink that just won't go away even after all your efforts to distract you from it, even if it's for no other reason but you just love the effects it produces in your body. Hey, if you have a family that's maybe secretly praying for you to get unsober, then let's wake up to this, a spiritual way of living found in the 12 steps.